Hello everyone. Today's topic is pollen pistil interaction, double fertilization and endosperm development. So pollination is followed by pollen pistil interactions. Pollination means transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. Pollen grains of a number of plants descend over the stigma of a flower. All of them do not germinate there. Only the compatible pollen of the same species are able to germinate. Germination is connected with compatibility and incompatibility reactions. Compatibility and incompatibility. Here we can see this is a picture which is showing pollen pistil interaction. You can see here so many pollen grains, light yellow colored, and last two pollen we can see germination of pollen grains, that is production of formation of pollen tube. So pollen pistil interaction is mediated by chemicals which is produced by pollen as well as by the pistil, means stigma of the pistil. So compatibility incompatibility reaction between proteins present over the pollen grains and the stigma. If the reaction is favorable, the pollen grains pick up water and nutrients from the stigma. It results in growth of pollen grains to form pollen tubes. Interaction between pollen tubes and pistil continues till the pollen tube reaches the ovule. So it is all about the pollen pistil interaction. That means after pollination, pollen grain landed on the stigma and then there is some chemical reaction. Both of these are having chemical. Some particular protein is present over the chemical is present on the surface of the pollen, and at the same time polysaccharide is secreted by the stigma. If pollen absorb that polysaccharides and swell, then that means interaction is possible. There is a possible, that means the pollen grains are compatible. And if there is no interaction, no germination of pollen, no pollen tube formation, that means there will be no interaction. That means these pollens are not compatible. It is incompatibility or incompatible reaction. So the same things are written here. Pollination does not always ensure the transfer of compatible pollen. We know that when there is a wind pollination or water pollination, so many pollen grains are landed on the stigma, but all the pollens are not germinate and proceed for the fertilization process. That means pollination does not mean that there will be fertilization. It is a general process. Hence, the pistil has the ability to recognize the right type of pollen to promote post-pollination event. So I already told you that chemical reactions will decide that whether the pollen is compatible or not, and that is called pollen pistil interaction. So here it is clearly written that chemical components of the pollen and the pistil, which we already discussed. Then the next is about, that is, the pollen tube reaches the ovary and enters the ovule through the micropyle. Then through the filiform apparatus it reaches synergids. I think you are able to recall the structure of the embryo sac, synergids, antipodal cells, filiform apparatus. Already we have discussed on this, the structure of the embryo sac. So in this way pollen tube grows and reaches to the ovule. So after pollen pistil interaction, there will be formation of pollen tube, and then through the pollen, that pollen tube will reaches to the ovary, that means ovule, and that pollen tube is carrying male gamete. So where is the male gamete? Because we are talking about the fertilization, means definitely we should have idea about the male gamete. So where is the male gamete? Male gamete is inside of this pollen tube. That is why it is called pollen pistil interaction is a dynamic process. It is a dynamic process because this method prevent cross fertilization or interspecific fertilization. And it increases homozygosity and decreases heterozygosity. Homo means same kind of characteristics, because when there is no cross fertilization or then when there is no interspecific fertilization, then definitely the same character will be continued. So there will be homozygosity and no variations. Genetic variations will be not there. Variations are definitely required, but variations, it should be according to the nature. That variation is good. So no such kind of variation which is not good at all, these kind of variations will not be continued, and it is checked by pollen pistil interaction. So this is all about pollen pistil interaction. Now the next point is double fertilization. Again, this topic is important. At the same time, this is not a new topic, means already we have read in class 10 and in class 11 also, that is a life cycle of angiospermic plant. So double fertilization, here fertilization means, we know that fertilization means fusion of gametes and formation of zygote. In seed plants, fertilization is also called sphenogamy. Why? Because fertilization is accomplished by pollen tube formation. How the pollen grains are reaching, that means how the male gametes are reaching to the embryo sac through pollen tube. That is why it is called sphenogamy. So just try to note down this word, sphenogamy. Pollen tube contains two male gametes, a degenerating tube nucleus and some cytoplasm. Now here I'd like to tell you one thing, that means you should know the structure of pollen grains. So after pollination there is pollen pistil interaction, and then after pollen pistil interaction there is formation of pollen tube. So we can see here the body of the pollen grain, it is above the stigma, and pollen tube contains two male gametes and a degenerating tube nucleus and some cytoplasm. Now I'd like to show you the structure of pollen grain, because I forgot to draw here. So suppose if this is the structure of pollen grain, I told you there is one small generative cell and another big one is, this is vegetative cell. That means we can say that this is generative cell nucleus, generative cell having one nucleus, and vegetative or tube cell having another nucleus, right? So two cell stage. After pollen tube germination, that means there is a formation of pollen tube. Suppose from this place there is a formation of pollen tube. If it is here, you can see the formation of pollen tube like structure. Then what will be moving through the pollen tube? First, that is nucleus of this generative cell and nucleus of this tube cell, right? Okay, let me write, otherwise you may confuse. This is generative cell nucleus, and next one, this is tube cell or vegetative cell. So two cells, right? That means from this pollen grain, pollen tube contains two nucleus along with cytoplasm. What is the function of this? Tube nucleus. Tube nucleus, it is only for showing path, that means direction, so that pollen tube can reach to the ovule in a proper way. So the function of tube nucleus is to direct the pollen tube growth. So what will be the direction, how it will reach to the ovule. But what is the function of this generative cell? Meanwhile, generative cell, nucleus, not cell, nucleus divides and there will be formation of two gametes. That means all together, we can say all together in pollen tube. How many nucleus will be there in pollen tube? In pollen tube, there will be three nucleus. First one, tube nucleus, and second tube. Okay, let me choose another color. And this second two nucleus, blue color. This will be male gamete, right? So a pollen tube contain total three nucleus. One is tube nucleus and other two, that is male gamete. Okay, so rest of the body of this pollen grain will be remain here. Only this pollen tube will carry three nucleus. Once again, there should not be any confusion. One, it is tube nucleus. Suppose it is here only to showing direction, and another two, that is male gamete. Only this one. Three. Right? Okay. Now rest of the thing, it is not so hard. Now it is easy. So when pollen tube enters inside of the ovule, definitely we know that in egg apparatus three cells are there, two synergid and one egg cell. So what is the role of two synergids and then egg cell? Synergids, we know that when pollen tube reaches there, synergids started to degenerate and provide nutrition to the pollen grains and the process. So synergid and filiform apparatus started to degenerate, and two gametes, two male gametes. One male gamete, here in the second picture we can see that one male gamete, okay, I will show you. Suppose this is one male gamete, it will fuse with the egg. This is egg. And another male gamete, this one, second one, another male gamete will fuse with the endosperm. That means secondary nucleus, and there will be formation of endosperm nucleus, primary endosperm nucleus. So here, which one is the egg? So this is, sorry, this is egg. So there will be formation of zygote. And which one is the secondary nucleus? So here you can see these two together, it is secondary nucleus. So this is secondary nucleus. Okay, so first there will be fusion of these two nucleus, two secondary polar nucleus, formation of secondary nucleus, and then after there will be fusion of another male gamete. So here you can see there is the structure of endosperm. This is endosperm. This is endosperm. How many nucleus? One male gamete. There is one male gamete and two polar nucleus. So 3N. And the second one is there is a structure of zygote, one male gamete and one egg. So it is 2N. About this double fertilization, everything is written here, that once one of the male gamete moves towards the egg cell and fuse with it to complete the synergid syngamy to form zygote, and another one fuse with the two polar nuclei and forms triploid primary endosperm nucleus, and this term is called triple fusion. Since two kind of fusion, syngamy and triple fusion takes place, the process is known as double fertilization, and it is characteristic of flowering plants. So I think double fertilization and triple fusion, it is clear. Now the next topic is, that is, okay, here again another picture. This is a picture from your book. Same picture you will get in your book, the same explanation. And again, for you make the process a little bit easier, I just choose this picture. Here you can see number 1, male gamete fused with 2 polar nuclei to form triploid endosperm. Here blue color is the male gamete and red is the polar nuclei. And the same way, a male gamete fuses with the egg nucleus to form diploid. Again one blue nuclei fused with the egg red and there is a zygote. So this is simple. Now 2 questions for you. What do you mean by double fertilization and triple fusion? And what is the result of triple fusion? So you should know the answer. If you know, then you can write down answer in your copy. And the next topic is types of endosperm. Development in flowering plants. Where is the endosperm? Again I would like to show you. Here is the endosperm. Another picture. This is the endosperm. Antipodal cell degenerates. Synergids degenerates. Then what will be left in this structure, embryo sac? Only endosperm and zygote. So the embryo sac will contain in later period only 2 things. One is endosperm, another is zygote. So first of all we are going to see the development of the endosperm. Development of endosperm. Endosperm is a special tissue. In flowering plants, endosperm is generally triploid as it is formed from the product of triple fusion or fusion of one male gamete with 2 polar nuclei or diploid secondary nucleus. As a male gamete is involved in the formation of endosperm precursor, endosperm may show effect of its gene. As a result, nucellus and endothelium degenerate. On the basis of formation of endosperm, it is of 3 types: nuclear, cellular and halobial. You can see here 3 types of endosperm: nuclear, cellular and halobial. The formation of endosperm, it is initiated by mitotic division. Only mitotic, and already I told you that there is triploid. It is triploid condition. So once again, would like to draw a structure. This is suppose embryo sac, and this embryo sac contain, there is one, that is zygote. It is zygote present here, and another, it is endosperm cell. It is triploid endosperm. It is triploid, and a zygote, it is diploid. So it is diploid. This concept should be clear. Now we are moving forward to see how endosperm develops. So development of endosperm, it is followed by development of zygote, because developing zygote require some nourishment, some nutritions. So the formation of endosperm occurs usually prior to the zygotic division. Now here you can see in this picture, first is free nuclear type, second is cellular, and third is halobial. First one, free nuclear type. It is a common type of endosperm. Primary endosperm nucleus or PEN divides and redivides to form large number of free nuclei. You can see these are the large number of free nuclei. It gives rise to a multinucleated endosperm. This is multinucleated endosperm. Later on, valve formation or cytokinesis begins. Later period. From the periphery and proceed towards the center. And finally, it makes the endosperm a multicellular tissue. That means first stage, that is only nuclear division, and number of nucleus formed here. Later period, it is surrounded by cell and there will be formation of cell, multicellular structure. And such kind of endosperm development, it is found in maize, wheat, rice, sunflower, etc. So there is one interesting character or interesting example. Number of free nuclei formed prior to cellular formation, that means cell formation, varies greatly. Cytokinesis may also stop prematurely. One example is given in your book, that is coconut. Coconut has white kernel of solid multicellular endosperm. On the outside, all of you know that white part which we used to take, and there is a milky, that means there is a water. So free nuclear liquid endosperm in the center, that means the water part is the free nuclear endosperm, and it is made up of thousands of free nuclei. And tender coconut is highly nutritious as its milk is rich in vitamins, minerals, sugars, protein, and with little saturated fats. So endosperm, that is free nuclear endosperm, example is coconut water. And the white part of coconut is a later part when there is a formation of cell. So this example is given in your book and this is important. Now the second one, that is cellular. What is cellular? Cytokinesis occurs after every nuclear division. You can see here there is a wall formation. This is wall formation. So this is one cell, this is another cell. So cytokinesis after every nuclear division, so that endosperm is of cellular form from the beginning. That means cell formation is from the beginning. Free nuclear, cell formation at the later period. First only nuclear division. But cellular, from the beginning there is a cell formation. And the example for this is Datura, Petunia, etc. So this is for cellular, Dhatura. This is for cellular. Now the last one is halobial. Only an introduction is given in your book. So halobial, it is the first division of primary endosperm nucleus is followed by cytokinesis. First we can see there is a cell wall formation. First nucleus divide, mitosis and cell wall formation. So this is simple two cell formation. And these are unequal cells. Cytokinesis produce two unequal chambers, large micropylar and smaller chalager. Subsequent division are free nuclear in both the chamber. You can see the number of nucleus, 1, 2, 3, so many nucleus in one chamber. Here also nucleus continuously dividing. So many nucleus, but no cell wall formation. Only first at the beginning there is a formation of cell wall, cytokinesis, later period only nuclear division. They are rapid in micropylar chamber. The chalager chamber may degenerate or continue slow growth. So this is unique type of endosperm. This is called halobial endosperm. It is a combination of these two, nuclear and cellular. So first cellular, cytokinesis, and then each chamber carrying only free nucleus. Example, I think it is not in your book, but even then example is Asphodelus. There is one plant, Asphodelus. So that is the example for the halobial endosperm. What is the use of endosperm? Endosperm is meant for nourishing of the embryo. In many dicot plants, the food reserve present in endosperm is completely consumed by the growing embryo. Right. So the main purpose for this endosperm development to providing nourishment to the developing zygote. So here everything is written, that is nuclear endosperm. Then after here it is written that free nuclear division, first division of the primary endosperm nucleus, then subsequent nuclear division. So only free nuclear present, free identity indefinitely or wall formation takes place later. I already told you. Coconut example I already told you. Okay, so coconut is very important. Again and again I am telling you. Then the next one, that is cellular type, that also I discussed here. So example Dhatura, I told you cellular means from the beginning there is cytokinesis and cell formation. And last one is halovial, that first there is a chamber formation and then free nuclear division. So that is halovial. At last, I'd like to show you what is the status of your embryo sac. Now, how does it look in embryo sac? So suppose this is embryo sac. This one is embryo sac. And this embryo sac is filled with endosperm, because endosperm, now this portion, it is after the development of the endosperm. This is all endosperm. That is maybe cellular, maybe nuclear, or whatever. Then, where is the zygote? Still, zygote is present here, the same way. No development. Now this endosperm will give nourishment to this zygote, and then after zygote will started to develop and there will be formation of embryo. Then that means gradually, later period, gradually what will happen? The endosperm will degenerate or used up by developing zygote. Embryo sac will be occupied by developed embryo. So with this, I think the topic is clear. First, pollen pistil interaction. So interaction means if there is proper chemical talk, then there will be germination of the pollen tube. Then after, if pollen tube is formed, then it will reach to the ovule, that is double fertilization. It will carry two gametes. One will fuse with the first egg and there is the formation of zygote. Another will be the fused with the two polar nuclei, formation of primary endosperm cell. And then after development of endosperm, it is of three types: free nuclear, cellular and halovial. In the next video, I will tell you the development of zygote, that means development of embryo. So here again I give you one link. You can have the video, animated video of this double fertilization. With this, thank you very much.